Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. The Cleveland Browns are definitely not shying away from shaking things up after a tough stretch. Following their 27-20 loss to the Jets, where they saw their record slip to a disappointing 2-7, the team made a flurry of roster moves that signal they're looking to recalibrate and find some new spark before the season slips away entirely. These moves, while they might seem minor on the surface, could be signaling more than just roster shuffling. They might be part of a larger plan to address some of the issues that have plagued the Browns all season long. First and foremost, the Browns waived cornerback Trey Avery, who primarily contributed on special teams but didn't quite make the impact they needed in the secondary. Cleveland didn't announce a direct replacement right away, which leaves an open spot on the roster, something they might use later for a strategic move or to give a shot to some younger players on the fringe. These kinds of roster tweaks are common for teams trying to get through a rough patch, but they also point toward a team that's not giving up and is actively trying to find solutions. In addition to the cornerback move, Cleveland also signed 2 defensive ends, KJ Henry and Achon Mathis, to the practice squad. Now, this is definitely worth noting because these aren't just random signings. They might be strategic, especially with the injury situation at the edge rusher position. For instance, the Browns are likely concerned about their star pass rusher, Myles Garrett, who, as we've heard, suffered a quad injury in Week 10. Garrett is a cornerstone of that defense, and losing him even temporarily would be a huge blow, so Cleveland is bringing in depth to keep that pass rush alive. KJ Henry, out of Clemson, is in his 3rd NFL season and was originally drafted by Washington in 2023. He's appeared in 14 games so far with 3 starts and has recorded 22 tackles and 2 sacks. Henry spent some time on the Browns' practice squad earlier this season, so he's familiar with the organization and what they're trying to build. Achon Mathis from Nebraska is also in his 3rd year and was a 6th-round pick by the Rams. He's played in 14 NFL games with the Rams, Patriots, and Eagles, providing some added depth on the edge. The fact that Cleveland is adding these guys now indicates they're preparing for the possibility that Garrett might miss some time, or that they simply need more rotational help to keep the pressure on opposing quarterbacks. Another move worth mentioning is the promotion of Simeon Barrow Jr. from the practice squad to the active roster. Barrow has been a solid presence on the interior of the defensive line, and this move could be a sign that Cleveland wants to bolster that run defense or add some fresh energy up front, especially if they're concerned about maintaining pressure without Garrett. All of these roster moves come in the context of a team that's been struggling on all fronts. The Browns have had issues across the board, offensively, defensively, and special teams. The Jets game was a prime example of that, with the Browns surrendering 2 return touchdowns, which proved costly. On offense, despite flashes of potential, inconsistency has been the norm, especially under quarterback Dillon Gabriel. Gabriel has shown some promise, but his 1-4 record as a starter and the ups and downs in production have left fans yearning for more stability and leadership at the QB position. The Browns' offensive struggles have been compounded by injuries and a lack of rhythm, but there's hope that some of these roster changes could help spark the team, especially on defense, where they desperately need to tighten up. Cleveland's defense has been a mixed bag this season. They have talent, especially with Myles Garrett and others, but they've struggled to close out games and avoid giving up big plays down the stretch. The sequence against the Jets, with 2 late penalties sealing their fate, was a frustrating reminder of how fragile their position is right now. Speaking of Gabriel, the young quarterback was under the microscope after the Jets game. Fans are eager to see if the Browns will make a change at the position, especially considering how inconsistent Gabriel has been. The coaching staff, led by Kevin Stefanski, has been vocal about their commitment to Gabriel, emphasizing that they're still developing him and that he's their guy for now. Stefanski was quite clear when asked about the backup quarterback situation, shutting down any rumors about Shedeur Sanders getting a shot anytime soon. Instead, He stressed that they're focused on improving as a team, and that Gabriel is working hard behind the scenes to improve his game. Meanwhile, the status of Deshaun Watson remains a big question mark. The team's $230 million man has yet to return to practice after suffering an Achilles injury. The Browns are being cautious, but there's optimism that he'll be back soon. His return, whenever it happens, could be a game changer, especially if Cleveland can get back to full strength on offense. Watson's presence would give them a much-needed boost, and his leadership could elevate the entire team as they try to salvage what's left of the season. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The Browns, despite their record, are still a team with talent and potential. They have a strong core, especially on defense, with Garrett leading the way and some promising young players on offense, including Gabriel. But what they really need now is consistency, discipline, and some of that Browns grit that fans love. The kind of toughness that wins close games and keeps the team fighting no matter what the scoreboard says. These recent roster moves, while they may look small on paper, could be part of a bigger plan to shake up the locker room and get these guys playing with more energy and focus. It's about building depth, yes, but also about sending a message. Cleveland is still in this fight, and they're not going down without a fight. The AFC North is a tough division, with teams like Baltimore, Cincinnati, and Pittsburgh all fighting for playoff positioning. Cleveland needs to find a way to compete and stay relevant, even if the odds seem stacked against them right now. Looking ahead, the Browns have a big challenge on their hands. They face the Baltimore Ravens next, and that's no easy task. Baltimore's defense is tough, and their offense, led by Lamar Jackson, is explosive. Cleveland will need everything they've got, especially from their defense, to contain Jackson and keep the game close. Offensively, they'll need Gabriel to step up and show some of that promise they've seen in flashes. The coaching staff has been emphasizing growth and resilience, and that's what fans are hoping to see: improvement, grit, and a refusal to give up. In a season where so much has gone wrong, it's clear the Browns are still fighting to find their identity. The roster moves are just one piece of that puzzle. The team's young players are developing, the coaching staff is adjusting, and the fans are still holding out hope that better days are ahead. They know that with the right adjustments, a little luck, and a lot of heart, the Browns can turn things around and make some noise in the second half of the season. So, Browns fans, keep your heads up. The season isn't over yet, and there's still a lot of football to be played. These roster moves might just be the spark Cleveland needs to ignite the second-half push. The division is wide open, and with some improvements, the Browns could still surprise everyone and make a run that we'll be talking about for years to come. It's a long road, but Browns fans are known for their resilience and passion, never losing hope, always standing tall. Stay tuned, because the best is yet to come, and this team has what it takes to fight back and show everyone what Cleveland football is all about. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead to the rest of the season, the Browns are going to need their best efforts from all sides. That means the defense has to tighten up, especially in the secondary and on the pass rush, and the offense must find a way to be more consistent and less predictable. The coaching staff is well aware of the challenges. They're working behind the scenes trying to fine-tune every detail, every play, to get this team back in the win column. Fans should keep an eye on how these roster changes impact the team's chemistry. The addition of Henry and Mathies to the practice squad could bring much-needed depth at a crucial time, especially if Garrett has to sit out a game or two. The Browns have some talented young players, but they need to gel quickly, and these moves might be what propels them forward. Of course, everyone's watching how Gabriel performs. The rookie quarterback has shown flashes of brilliance, but inconsistency has hampered his progress. He's still learning, still developing, and the coaching staff remains committed to giving him the chance to grow. The hope is that with more experience and better protection, Gabriel can lead that offense to more points and fewer mistakes. The Browns' offensive line has had its struggles, but there's talent there, and with some adjustments they could start clicking at the right time. And then there's Deshaun Watson, waiting in the wings. His return is eagerly anticipated by everyone in Cleveland. When that happens, the Browns' offense could get a serious boost, especially with Watson's experience and leadership. Fans are dreaming of that moment when he steps back onto the field and leads Cleveland to a comeback, to a playoff push, or even a deep run. But until then, the team has to grind through the tough times, fighting for every yard and every win. The AFC North remains a highly competitive division. Baltimore is leading the pack with Lamar Jackson showing why he's considered one of the league's most dynamic players. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are always lurking, ready to pounce on any mistake. For Cleveland, every game becomes a must-win, not just for pride, but for any hope of climbing back into the playoff conversation. That's why these roster moves, the development of Gabriel, and the health of Watson are all critical components of their strategy moving forward. Fans, remember that even in tough times, the heart of Cleveland football beats strong. This team has a history of resilience, of overcoming adversity, and of never backing down. The season may not have gone the way they envisioned, but there's still a lot of football left, and hope remains alive. With each game, each play, Cleveland fans are glued to their screens, cheering loudly, believing that their team can turn this around. That's what Browns football is all about, never losing faith, always fighting, and dreaming of brighter days. As we look to the future, the focus will be on how these new players integrate into the team, how Gabriel responds under pressure, and how the defense adjusts without Garrett at full strength. The upcoming games will be crucial, and the Browns will need everyone pulling in the same direction. The coaching staff has shown they're willing to make the tough decisions, and the players are motivated to prove they can still contend. In the end, the Browns are more than just a team. They're a community that believes in their players and their future. Every roster move, every play, every win or loss is a part of their journey. Cleveland fans are some of the most passionate in the league, and their unwavering support fuels this team through thick and thin. No matter the scoreboard, Cleveland football remains alive, thriving on hope, determination, and that signature Browns grit. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.